Welcome to Distance Dialogue. On behalf of WVU Online, I'm Dr. Lee Silverman. Joining me today representing our student ambassadors is Dr. Angie Milliron. Presenting today's topic, Career Changers and Starting Over, is Jessie Barclay. Jessie is the Student Experience Manager at the WVU Purpose Center and a Gallup Certified Strengths Coach. She is a West Virginia native with a Master's in Counseling from WVU and a Bachelor of Science in Sociology from Shepherd University. She started her career as a full-cycle corporate recruiter and then worked for the WVU Career Services Center for a decade, helping students and alumni find their dream jobs. Thanks for being with us today, Jessie. Before we begin, can you give us a brief overview of the Purpose Center and how it can assist WVU students and our extended Mountaineer family?
Oh, of course. Hi, Lee. Hi, Angie. I'm so happy to be here. So we at the Purpose Center, we have been here for about 2 years. We're the brainchild of Dr. Gee and our director, Whitney Godwin. We are the first Purpose Center anywhere. But more importantly, we're the first Purpose Center to use the strengths assessment. We're actually the first university to use the strengths assessment for faculty, staff, and students. So what we do at the Purpose Center is we create content to help students, faculty, and staff find their purpose, which sometimes people find is kind of cheesy, but the truth is 40% of people that are out there working in their jobs are not satisfied. And it's even more for those that are early on in their career. They're finding that what they actually learn to do is not something that aligns with their values. It's not something that aligns with their strengths. So we at the Purpose Center, we're all strengths certified coaches. We meet one-on-one with staff, faculty, and staffs as coaches to help them really figure out how are they using their top 5 Clifton strengths every day? How can they use them more holistically? And how can we help them find careers where they're really satisfied? And so that is a lot of what we do. We create workshops, we do value-based workshops, we do strengths-based workshops. Basically, I love my job. It makes me happy every day because we get to help students, faculty, and staff find their purpose. And therefore, hopefully, they'll be more satisfied in what they do in the long run when it comes to a career. I hope that's good enough. I could talk about this forever.
Oh, no, that's great. And it's exciting to hear your level of excitement and how much you love what you do. Also, how exciting to be the only center of its kind to exist on a college campus. So, Jessie, changing careers and starting over has been a hot topic since the pandemic, with many students realigning their careers to match their passion and values. Several students submitted questions for today, and I'd like to begin by asking you our first question. Someone said I should consider my career values. How are they different from my personal values?
Oh, that's a great question. For some people, they're aligned. It depends on whether your personal values are aligned with your strengths and what you want to pursue. And by that, what I mean is, for some people, work is their life, and that's absolutely okay. But you really need to sit down and start thinking about, do I want to work to live or do I want to live to work? And what a lot of people don't really think about is, are they in a career where they're able to use their strengths and do they align with their values? For example, I have always had positivity. It is my number one strength. And in my position now, I get to use my positivity literally every moment of every day. And in my previous positions, I haven't been able to do that. I was tired. I was unhappy. And so what I really ask people who are thinking about, what are my career values and what are my personal values, you have to figure out your personal values first. You have to really think about, who am I and what is it that I want to experience while I'm here on this earth for however long I am. For some people, those are going to be easy to find. For some people, you may have to come to us as the Purpose Center, and we have great questions we can ask you. But once we figure out those personal values, the career values are going to come right hand in hand. For some people, they may figure out they appreciate humor. And that may seem like a strange thing for someone to value, but it's really important when you're thinking about a career that if you value humor, you're in a place where you can feel things and you can actually be with a group of people that allow you to use that humor. And there's tons of ways you can figure that out. You can figure that out by a job description, just looking at it and seeing if they're going to be in a positive environment, or asking questions in an interview. You can figure out if it's going to be able to work towards your humor. If you crack a joke in an interview and they don't laugh, probably not a place for you. And so, to answer your question without going around as million times as I did, they're the same. But you have to figure out your personal values first. Some people figure those out through experiences. Some people will take an assessment and they'll say, oh, I value family. No, none of it is wrong. None of it is right. But you have to take the time to actually think about it.
Thanks, Jesse. That's great. Angie, would you like to share some additional student questions?
Sure. Nice to meet you. Great to hear about your center. I think it sounds great. And I'd like to hear more about the Purpose Center. I find it to be such a valuable resource for our students. What can students expect in terms of the time commitment when they seek guidance?
So we have on purpose.wvu.edu. If you actually go to our website, you can find our many workshops. I think we have 6 going on this week. We have them listed everywhere. All 3 of us at the Purpose Center are always out there, either in classrooms or working with student organizations or staff. But really, if you're wanting to do a one-on-one coaching, what we do is we have you take the Clifton Strengths Assessment. It takes about 20 minutes. It's timed so that it can be accurate to who you actually are and not who you think you are, which I love. And then honestly, within a couple hours, because I run the vanity account, if we get an email from you asking for a code and then a coaching session, we can usually get you in within a week. Those sessions are 30 minutes to an hour, and they can meet with us as often as they want to. We have certain students that come and meet with us once a week as a check-in. We have some students that just need to meet once. We really like to make it open, and it's free for all students, faculty, and staff. So it's not an extra cost for WVU online students at all.
That's great. And once I learn more about myself, or some of our students learn more about themselves through your work, can the Purpose Center provide me with options to investigate additional career paths?
Oh, absolutely. We like to think we are the concierge of WVU, is what we like to think of. And so we really try to align students with alumni that we work with through the Alumni Center, as well as not necessarily a formal mentorship program. We are working on one of those, but we also have connections throughout the entire university. So if I have a student who's really interested in working in biology, or maybe they want to become a doctor, we can make sure they're with the right faculty or advisor so that they can go ask questions. More importantly, once they kind of figure out their purpose, we most likely will send them on to career services. That's a lot of where our partnership with WVU Career Services is we help them figure out the why, and they help them figure out the how, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It just depends on the situation, and we try to make sure we partner them with someone who can get them the answers they need.
And I assume there's probably some sort of internships available. And what should students know about internships?
Oh my, there are so many things about internships. So one of my favorite things, internships in every major are important. If we think about, we can read books, we can watch videos, but it's not until you're out in the working world actually doing what you think it is that you're going to be doing for a career that you really figure out what it is that you're capable of. Or maybe going back to the values, you figure out the idea of being a nurse and actually being a nurse do not align with your values. So internships or job shadows are absolutely essential for students to figure out their purpose, but also to figure out how they want to use their natural abilities and their top 5 strengths. So we highly encourage students to start looking for internships early. For WVU Online, you can do that. We can help you with that. You can go to WVU Career Services. But really, we highly encourage students to look for internships or job shadows while they're here at WVU.
And what if I just feel there's some small gap in my skill set. Are there methods of gaining that experience? How can you help me?
Oh man, I love that question. Everyone is terrified of having a gap in their history. And the wonderful thing is, a lot of places in every industry, I want everyone to remember that all experience is good experience. So as long as you weren't literally sitting and doing nothing, the pandemic is a great example. I had students who literally learned a new language while they were during the pandemic. Or students learn that they have a passion for something such as like pottery or whatever it may be. They have to remember that employers are looking for transferable skills. They're not necessarily looking for this perfect alignment of your experiences in their job. They're wanting to know, can you communicate well? Can you be part of a team? Can you think critically or solve problems? All of those things are more important than a gap in someone's history. And so we have to start thinking about how can we articulate those on a resume, or start coming up with examples of things that maybe you even did during the pandemic that will translate to one of those transferable skills. I hope that answers that question. It's a big question, but a lot of times you do not need to go out and get a certification to fix that gap. Sometimes you just need to leave it there. If they ask about it, tell them what it is that you learned during that time. Maybe you were taking classes. That's experience. All experience is a good experience.
So let's say I graduate and I start into this career and I thought it was exactly what I wanted to do, but maybe not. So is it possible to change careers without going back to school?
Most people have 5 separate careers. I'm an older millennial, and I have had 3 separate careers in my life. And so, yes, it's absolutely essential, and it's okay. I think that thinking about your skills, not necessarily as I need to go back to school to figure out how to do this thing. Think about it more as, what is it that I actually want to do? What do I value? What is my why? Why do I want to get up? You have a skill set. That skill set can be transferable in many ways. Now, there are certain careers you do have to go back to school for. We call those career majors. So in a lot of ways, education. If you want to be a teacher, you need to be certified to do that. Same thing with engineering, nursing, a lot of things in the health field. Those, I'm going to say, yeah, if you really want to go be a nurse, you're going to have to go back to school. But for a lot of other majors, a lot of other careers, you just need to start going and looking to see what the requirements are. And if you keep seeing the same requirement over and over again, that's actually how I figured out I wanted to be a career counselor. I kept finding all these great jobs, and I was like, oh, what's my next step? Well, I saw that I needed a certification in career counseling, and that was my next step. So don't think about it as, I have to go get this new skill, or I have to go get this. You need to investigate first. You need to take control of the situation by actually learning more. And that's something we can absolutely help here at the Purpose Center, get you in the right direction, and then help you figure out what you need to do next.
So let's say I get to that point and I'm at a watershed where I'm working in one career and I'm like, I'm not sure this is right and I might want to make a change. So what's a good way to research employment trends to see what industries look promising over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
My favorite resource is ONET. It's put out by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And they actually, if you look up different careers, let's put in a PR specialist. They will actually, if it's a bright outlook or there are going to be a ton of jobs, next to the job is going to be a little sun. So you don't even have to worry about it. You will notice things like broadcast journalists. They're still needed, but people who write newspapers are not necessarily a hot thing right now. So that website in general is a great place to start. So just simply typing in a job title and seeing if it has a bright outlook or that little sun next to it will give you a good indication based on the statistics we have in the United States on whether those jobs are going to be sought after or needed in the next 3 to 10 years is what they say.
Awesome. So let's say I'm there and I'm ready to make a change. And I spent all this time in my last degree program working on getting the perfect resume, the package to apply. How should my resume reflect my change in purpose?
So there are some wonderful resources for you out there. Right now, if you were to go and apply to even WVU, if you were going to go apply to any job, the most important thing to be on your resume is that it's tailored to the job you're applying to be very honest with you, because most of those jobs are going to go through an applicant tracking system. So when you apply, the first person to see your resume is actually going to be a computer system to see if it matches the job description. And so that's the number one thing that everyone should know. There's a website called JobScan that you can actually put your resume in and then put the job description. It'll tell you the percent match that it is for that job. And it's free. So it's crazy. It's awesome. And so everyone should use that. But then what you really want to think about is your cover letter. And that cover letter is really where you can start talking about your values. You can start talking about why specifically you want to work for that company. And you need to do that because employers are looking for people who want to work for their company and are being able to articulate it. They also want to know that you can read and write. And that's writing a good cover letter shows them that. So I wouldn't necessarily say that your values need to be on your resume, but I would say they absolutely need to be in your cover letter. Because for a lot of employers, when I was a recruiter, however many years ago, I chose the cover letters before I looked at their resumes. And then hopefully the resumes were good. But I wanted to know that people wanted to work there and took the time to research the company. Regardless of the industry, that's a pretty good standard.
Well, thank you for those resources. I heard about ONET and JobScan and my cover letter, and I think you really addressed some of the great things that we need to know. And the Purpose Center sounds like a great fit for anybody.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for asking those questions, Angie. Jesse, I was taking notes while you were talking about this because I heard of so many neat things, and I have students who sometimes ask about these things as well, and friends. I didn't know these were out here, so this is wonderful information and an incredibly good service that your group offers. I'd like to thank our guest, Jesse Barclay, for being with us today. Also, a special thanks to Dr. Angie Milliron and Joanne Hunt and Eric Merrill, who have been helping behind the scenes. For Distance Dialogue, I am Dr. Lee Silverman. Thank you for joining us.